How's it going, guys? Cameron here with Canadian Gamer. This episode of Coffee and Conversation is brought to you by Tim Hortons. This is the new Christmas cup that they're offering. It says it's the most wonderful Tims of the year. I don't know, maybe bad taste given what's going on this year to put that on the cup. I don't know. Could be politically incorrect or correct, whatever the terminology is. But anyhow, I haven't done one of these videos in a while, so I thought, what the hell? I don't talk about my personal life too much. Not that I'm going to go too in-depth on it here, but I thought I'd just open up a little bit and have a conversation about what's been going on. First things first, you'll see I've got the deep blue Xbox One S up on the shelf here. I love this console. I love the look of it. Even though I have a One X now, I am not going to get rid of this One S. I just simply love the color. And I love the controller that came with it. I love it. So the One S is a fantastic console. So if you have one, there's not necessarily a reason to upgrade to the One X. I just got a really good deal on that console. That being said, I popped in the Evil Within 2 last night. Now, before I get started on this, I don't want to go too far into it on this video. The Evil Within, the first game, it was going well for me until I got up to Chapter 10, the boss at the end. Oh my god. Talk about an unfair difficulty spike. I must have tried to beat this boss 25, 30 times and I couldn't beat it. So I ended up going online and I said, fuck it. I watched the rest of the game, like a 3-hour playthrough, no commentary, which I enjoyed. So call me a pussy for giving up on the game, but the difficulty spike is unbelievable. There's people out there that have spent 4 to 5 years trying to beat that boss and they still can't beat it. So after I watched the rest of the playthrough so I could understand how the game ends, I popped in the Evil Within 2 last night and I put it on the Xbox One X with the 4K TV, and oh my god, the graphics just pop. So we're gonna leave that for another video. We'll talk about that another day. But today I wanted to talk about, the importance of, or maybe not the importance, but just being thankful and grateful that I'm a gamer in these difficult and troubling times that we're in now. Just to preface, just to let you know, without getting into specifics, obviously in Canada, we had like an emergency relief benefit program that launched around, I want to say March, April, when COVID started to ramp up. And they called it the CERB. It was like the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit. And a lot of people had to apply for it, myself included, because I had just gotten a new job at that time. And right when I got the job, I couldn't be brought on because COVID, I'm outside with the general public a lot of the times. COVID affected what I do for a living to the point where I couldn't really do my job. So I had to apply for the CERB benefit. Now, fast forward a couple of months later, I landed a new job just over 2 months ago, and it's been really busy. I've been out on the road a lot up until the last couple of weeks. In Canada, especially Ontario, Canada, COVID levels were in like what's called a second wave, so things have spiked right back up again. And the government has released what's called it's called like a color chart, and there's different zones for different cities. Like blue, green being the least amount of COVID cases, and then yellow, it's like right in the middle, and then orange, you got a high level of COVID, and then red is like the worst, and then above red is lockdown. So before, back in March, they had actually locked the whole province down, and now they're just doing it based on hotspots. And right now, Toronto, the greater Toronto area, Peel region, they were in the red zone, and now, just as of Friday, just as a lot of us had expected, the government has proposed a lockdown, which is taking place on Monday at 12:01 a.m. So Toronto is going to be in a lockdown, which means unless you're going to the pharmacy or it's a roadside pickup at a store or your necessities like groceries, everything else is pretty much locked down, which is not good for the economy. So the reason why I bring this up is because earlier on in the week, my employer reached out to me, and I noticed the last week and a half, 2 weeks, things had just taken a nosedive as far as busyness is concerned, which is unusual for the company that I work for. Usually, even though sometimes it can be a slow period, for my occupation, for a lot of companies out there, the company I work for, it's usually steady right through the winter. And I wasn't getting a lot of hours, but I didn't want to push anything. And my employer reached out to me proactively. They said, listen, we see that Toronto's headed for a lockdown. We've had to lay off a significant amount of our staff because of this. And we want to be proactive with you because it looks like, where I'm situated up near Ottawa, it looks like it could be the same very shortly. So they asked me to apply for basically EI, but in Ontario, they now call it IDEL, where it's like the infectious disease emergency layoff. So your employer has to submit your record of employment to the government that specifically shows that you've been laid off because of COVID-19. So that's where I'm at. I've never been laid off in my life. I've never applied for EI in my life. So this is all pretty new to me. And it's not a sob story. It's not what you think. In Canada, you apply for EI, and then you do get like a weekly allowance, and it's enough to live off of. And I'm not hurting. I'm pretty secure as far as my finances are concerned. But this is just the reality, and it's not just me. It's a lot of people out there. When I called Service Ontario just to ask a question, I was on hold for almost 2 hours, if you could believe it. So there's a lot of people that are in the same boat right now. So I'm thankful that I can at least take advantage of employment insurance. And I've been working since I was probably 16, 17 years old. So as you can imagine, over 20 years, I've never drawn employment insurance. So I'm not about to feel guilty about it right now. But I'm staying busy. As you can see here, I'm making sandwiches. Me and my buddy later on today are going to go downtown, and we're going to hand out these sandwiches to the homeless and the needy. And no, I'm not going to film that. It's a personal moment for these people on the street. It's not something that I need to share on social media to get views. It's not about that at all. But that being said, again, it could be a hell of a lot worse. And the reason why I bring all this up is right now, with people off of work because of COVID and whatever else may be the case, a lot of people may turn to drugs and alcohol, and, sometimes depression can rear its ugly head. But through it all, there's been reports that there's been a huge increase in the amount of people that have shown interest in video games because of COVID-19, because of not having a lot to do. So I just wanted to sort of get that out there. How are we doing right at the 8-minute mark? We'll keep rambling on here. So I just wanted to kind of get that out there. I'm happy to be a gamer in these troubling times. Not to say that if I didn't have video games to lean on, that I would lean on the bottle or smoking or doing crack cocaine or something crazy. But you know what I mean. It's definitely, in this case, I'd say it's a healthy addiction. It's good to be able to keep busy. I don't sit on my ass all day gaming, but right now I've probably been gaming more so than I have in the last couple of years because I've got a little bit of extra time on my hands. So, there's a lot of worse things out there in the world that we could be doing. So out of all the hobbies, to be able to sit in my house, which is thankfully heated, and be able to play on my 1X with my huge games collection that I have, I could only be so lucky. So, I feel for a lot of you guys out there, guys and gals. I'm sure you're going through a lot of trials and tribulations right now with COVID-19. I think over in Europe, there's a lockdown in place as well. So really tough out there. Sorry to hear about that, George and Galactus X. I know you guys are probably dealing with a lot of that bullshit as well. And I'm not quite sure what's going on out in Australia. I can imagine it's probably more of the same as well. So it's crazy. With this second wave of COVID, the numbers keep rising even though we're all wearing masks. So I don't know if the masks are really helping. But, again, the numbers keep rising. I think yesterday there was an all-time high. Again, every other day it's an all-time high in Ontario for COVID numbers. So it's possible, I hate to say it, but up where I am near Ottawa, it's only a matter of time that we might be facing a lockdown as well. So that's why, again, my employer was kind enough to proactively reach out to me and say, hey, let's get you on this program now before the whole fucking this side of the province is basically laid off, and then it's a huge backlog when you apply for employment insurance, as you can imagine. So crazy times indeed. I don't have COVID, knock on wood, but and I don't really know anybody that has it. So is it a government conspiracy? I don't want to go that far. Obviously the virus is real, but again, I really don't know anybody that has had it or has it. So I don't know what to say about that. I don't know. I mean, is it just a virus? Some people are saying the SARS virus, I don't know if you guys remember that, from 2005, was a lot more deadlier than COVID-19. So yeah, so with me, with my work, it could get busy tomorrow, and if it does, they would call me, and then I would probably go back to work. So yeah, so difficult times indeed. I hope everybody out there is doing okay. And like I said, difficult times, but thankful to be a gamer, and thankful for you guys in the comment section for leaving nice comments and engaging and witty back and forth discussions. So it's really great to see that as well. So again, I hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday. I went to the grocery store bright and early this morning. Usually it's quieter than a mouse in church, and it was busy as hell. And so I think it's a combination of people are scared because of the lockdown in Toronto, so now everybody's out there buying toilet paper and buying up all the groceries again. And we're expecting to get our first snowfall today as well, so people again are getting all excited because of the media, and they're all running out to get their groceries. So it's just ridiculous, troubling times. So I hope you all are doing well. Again, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have an excellent Sunday, and take care. Have a great weekend.